We're sitting down here with a comedian from Chicago who, he's a talented comedian, Chris Higgins, producer of the Chill as Fuck show that's going on right now, and hilarious stand-up comedian I got to work with in the past. We're going to talk to him about his dealings in the stand-up comedy scene, both in Chicago and some out-of-state locations he's been to, as well as his experience with producing. Cue the music. Welcome, everyone, to the Entertainment Buffet podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Prosek. As I said before, I'm sitting down with the hilarious Christopher Higgins.
Hello.
Hello, indeed, Christopher.
Sorry, did I interrupt you? My bad.
No, that's great. I'll just cut out all your audio. You don't need to actually be here.
This has been great. I've been Brandon.
This is just for show.
Yeah.
But before we get started with our conversation, Chris, I'll just do all my plugs, get that out of the way. Mm-hmm. So, Entertainment Buffet Podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. It helps us reach a bigger audience if you leave those reviews. So please, if you do, we'll read it on the next podcast, whether it's hate or love. You know, we'll give you a shout out regardless. You can also check out the podcast if you're an Apple hater on Podbean, Blubrry, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, I think that's one. Whoever the fuck, doesn't matter. I tried to put it a bunch of free places as I could for you guys, so check those out as well. If you want to check out the Entertainment Buffet YouTube channel, we have web shows, sketches, some other podcasts that I work with. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, entertainmentbuffet.com. Tons of new content coming your way, guys, in the next couple months, so subscribe so you don't miss out on that as well. And lastly, I'd just love to give a shout out to some other friend of the show's podcast, Movie Trailer Trash. You can check that out on iTunes, as well as the Brothers Marvel and the Slobber Knocker podcast. Those are all dealing with movie trailers, comics, wrestling, a little bit of everything. Love those podcasts, love those guys. Check them out and give them some love as well. But let's not waste any more time. Episode 16, we're sitting down here with Chris Higgins. So how you doing today, Chris?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm not too bad. You know, a little bit of a flustered day, but, you know, that shit happens when you're on vacation and supposed to be relaxing.
Yeah, sometimes you get busy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, both in general, and maybe we can get into how we met.
Right on.
Earlier this year.
All right, yeah, I'm Chris Higgins, as you said. I'm from Colorado originally, Boulder, Colorado. Moved to Chicago about a year and a half ago, and I've been doing stand-up for about I don't really know how many years I've been doing it, but I've been thinking about it forever. So I've been doing stand-up, and I do improv as well around the city, and write sketches, so I'm a man of a jack of all trades like yourself. Well, that sounded so douchey to say.
I was going to say a jack of all trades.
God, kill me.
Guys, he's talented in multiple things.
Yeah, no, I'm just not talented, just doing a lot of things. I feel like there were some shitty jesters out there. That's what I immediately think of when I hear jack of all trades. Like a shitty jester. But yeah, I produced the Chill as Fuck show in Judy's Beat Lounge at the Second City every Saturday at 10:30. And then I've produced a couple other shows around the town. Crash Course Comedy was at Public House Theater. We are currently homeless right now, but we'll figure something out soon. And yeah, life's good. Love Chicago. Been here for about a year and a half now. So
yeah, you're a busy man.
Yeah, definitely a busy man. That's why I moved here, being busy.
We'll get to our LOL of the week.
Oh yeah.
So this is always a funny picture, video, GIF, story, something that just made you laugh in the last week or so. Mm-hmm. So I'll start with mine. So last few days, my grandma recently got out of the hospital. She's almost 85 now, and she is the stereotypical, she's 4'8", sassy grandmother, and she cracks me up constantly. And, you know, it's the type of sassiness that, like, you know, she's not going for a laugh, but it's just so funny because she's such a tiny person.
Yeah.
And we're always trying to do puzzles with her, you know, because we don't want her just sitting watching TV all day. And so we always have a puzzle on the table. I'm kind of doing some. I take a break because, you know, I fucking hate puzzles, to be honest. And I take a break and I go sit down. And she's sitting at the table and she looks down at the puzzle and she goes, "You think you people would be done with this already?" And I was like, "Well, feel free to step in, Graham."
Yeah. Want to help, maybe?
Yeah. I guess I'll do it. You know?
Did she help?
She did. Oh. And it's funny is because she, you know, since she has the little arm, she can't exactly reach the pieces. And I'll be grabbing a piece and she's like, "No." "What?" "No, grab that one."
Yeah.
I was like, "This one?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Where's it go?" She's like, "Over there." And I'm like, "Geez, like, you're 85 and you still got like hawk eyes."
Nice.
But I definitely got cracked up by that because she's been doing it for years, but she is just very blunt and direct.
Oh yeah.
Just isn't afraid to just speak up and just like, "You think you people would be done with this already?"
Grandmas are good like that. They will say whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. So
mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Let's see here. It's an old GIF, but I saw it again this week, and it just always makes me laugh so super hard. It's
there's always the standard one.
Yeah, it just every time it'll make me like have to fight a laugh at work, you know. And it's just like somewhere in Eastern Europe, and this guy is running up a car and then down it, and he's got a bucket on his head. And the dude chasing him kicks the bucket off of his head, and underneath his bucket is just a smaller bucket. It's just so stupid, but it just gets me every single time. And the guy is just running so like drunkenly, like over a car. You know, he like goes up the hood and like back down the backside, and this dude kicks his head, and it's got another bucket.
That's pretty good. Now I think I may have seen that before, but now I definitely want to.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of meeting. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably almost a year ago now. Mm-hmm. I was back in January when we did the first ever Entertainment Buffet live show, and when I was reaching out to have some more younger, talented comedians in the area, I was reaching out on all the social medias. You got in contact with me, sent me some of your videos. I was like, we got to have this guy on. Dope. I also got some good word from Joel and some other comedians. So I was like, all right, he's hilarious in the videos. I've gotten good compliments from some other people I know. Gotta book this guy.
Sweet. That's awesome. I didn't know Joel and people recommendations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joel and other comedians. That means a lot. Yeah, it was a great show. I had a lot of fun doing that. I think I opened the show, I think?
Yeah, you were you were the first stand-up to come on after me and my co-host. Yeah. So, you kicked it off with a bang.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
You could have totally killed the mood.
I could have, yeah.
If I didn't already when I was hosting, you could have.
No, you didn't. That was fun. That was a good show, top to bottom. That was really fun. I had a good fucking time, for sure.
I especially enjoyed your... movie narrator voice.
Oh yeah,
because I used to do that as a kid. So when you're another taller bearded gentleman such as I, and then you're doing that, I was like, luckily I don't do that in my stand up, but you're doing it. I was just like, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that finds that humorous.
Oh, I love that voice. It's such a goofy voice.
Yeah,
like that. Welcome to the Entertainment Buffet Podcast.
In a world.
Yeah, there we could just have let's just do this the whole time.
Special edition of the Entertainment Buffet Podcast, movie trailer voices with Chris and Brandon.
You should do some like sound design, get some like jet flyovers, explosions, some maybe opera.
I was gonna say some opera music.
A few notes in there. That'll be good.
Yeah. You mentioned before you are not only a comedian, but you also produce the Chill as Fuck show. Would you like to tell a little bit about that? Because I've personally seen some highlights online, but unfortunately I haven't been able to come check it out. But I've been meaning to for a while, but I only hear good things. I've always seen you post about it, and I mean the show's still going, so the place you're performing at must like you guys too.
Yeah, it's going well. Couldn't be more happy about it. I produce it with 4 other people: Natalie Carneal, Hobart Thompson, Connor King and Ralph Laguerre. They're all comedians in the area. We have been at Second City for, I think March was our first date there. So
nice.
Coming up on like 5 months now. No, my math's not right there. Holy shit. We're
Don't
past
worry.
6 months.
We're comedians. We're not mathematicians.
We're past 6 months, yeah. We're like at 7 months now. That's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've been going there off and on. Like I think we had a 1-off and then a couple like 2-offs and then 2 1-month runs in the span of like 90 days. And now we're in the middle of a 3-month run, which is technically, contractually, it was 1 month and then 2 months at the Second City. So it's been really fun. I love producing that show. The other producers bring so much. Like we all have very different energies when we're trying to like book things and put people up. And the show, every show is different. Never know what we're gonna get. Like we don't really have a set number of, it's a variety show. So we always definitely want like music, comedy, some stuff that might not make you laugh, might make you think, or just music, comedy, improv, different types of just anything new. And so it's a really fun show to book for sure because we're always looking for different art and stuff like that to book.
Yeah, that's one reason I've especially wanted to check it out was not only because you're a part of it, but because the variety show aspect. Because I've only produced a couple shows myself with Entertainment Buffet Live. We wanted that to be stand-up, improv, sketch. Like I wanted it to be literally like a buffet of entertainment.
Yeah,
and it seems like that's my wife hates that joke.
Hey, it's what it is.
I swear every time I say it, she's just like, "Do you want a divorce?"
Hey, it's a good joke.
But yeah, and so like when I would see the highlights of your show, like I like shows that are a little bit of everything because when I did live down here for 5 years, when you're on a fixed income, there's only so many shows you want to pay to go see. Mm-hmm. And, sure, it's fun to see some stand-ups, but, like, if it's just going to be an hour or two of nonstop stand-ups or if it's improv that, for all we know, they could just not be on that night. Or, it's nice with the variety because you could like the first person, you could be like, oh, the next person was okay, and then you got a new person back up. And there's a little bit of everything for everyone.
There's definitely highs and lows in every show. We've been riding a pretty good wave right now of just some. I mean, I don't even know how it happens. Sometimes sometimes you make these calls to Second City's box office in the morning, and you're like, "How many tickets do we have sold?" And they're like, "Oh, you only have 8 tickets sold," and the place seats like 60, and you're like, "Fantastic, great! This is going to be that one where we end the streak." And then just somehow, I don't know,
last minute
what keeps happening. It keeps like being relatively full. We haven't sold out in like 3 weeks, but like, man, it's been just the energy in the room has been so much fun lately. Last show, Ralph was the host. And the way the host kind of, he's going to control, or he or she is going to control what's going on in the show. They have most of the booking responsibilities if they're the host.
Okay.
Ralph was like, we're going to dress fancy for this next show because all my acts are going to be like smooth and like loungy, and you'll see
like jazz.
Yeah, and it was just like, I don't even know if that's what his intention was. I think I just ad-libbed what he said. He wanted it to be like fresh and I don't know what the words Ralph was using, but jazzy is what I got from the vibe. I mean, I feel like it was purple the whole time in there, and it was just amazing. It was so much fun. Me and my buddy Hobart did some 2-man stand-up-ish sketch thing where we tried to sell ourselves as bachelors to the audience, but we told the truth about our lives. Like, revealed a little too much.
Yeah, that's the best part about like stand-up is like you could totally make shit up, but you could also totally be like brutally honest, and the audience is kind of like, is he fucking with us? Yeah. Or did he, did he actually punt a dog off a bridge?
And we were like roasting each other, and I love when someone roasts me good. In a really funny way, it's the funniest thing in the world. If someone says something super funny about you, It kills me.
Yeah, so I had to ask, how was the stand-up out there? Like, were you able to do it a decent amount in Colorado? I mean,
not a whole ton. Just because when I started stand-up, didn't have a car, and I lived in Boulder, where there was one open mic a week, and then a showcase on the weekends, and then. But when I was there, I did the one open mic a week, and then sometimes like would drive up to Greeley and do this like comedy club, little rinky-dink comedy club there. It was, I don't mean rinky-dink in a insulting way. It was like just fucking tiny. But it was really fun time. We'd go up there in a van with this guys like Tobias Livingston and Dylan Ames and Jamie Lonergan and some people in Colorado, and we'd have just so much fun right up in the van, go up there and did that like once or twice. And otherwise, I was just doing this open mic all the time. And then it was in college, and I went to college in Florida.
Okay.
And in Florida, I would do stand up, opening for like the booked gigs that college had. So that was really crazy because I was right off the bat doing like 10 minutes in front of like my whole college. And then that, helped me want to write material. And so when I went back to Colorado the next summer, I did like some showcases, basically this one in Boulder called the Boulder Beer Garden. In the beer garden, it's called the Boulder Comedy Show, for this guy Brent Gill. But that's a long-winded answer. Fuck, I didn't do much. No. I didn't do much comedy. It's really, like, I've thought about it, obviously, because you're pursuing it all the time. You think about your career and stuff, or whatever that word means. And really, I'd, like, honestly pursuing it as hard as I could, only a year and a half. So I feel like that's the number I should say. But I've been interested in stand-up since I was like 10.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that was the same way. I wanted to do it for so long, but I didn't actually do it until I was 19 when I was here at an open mic at Columbia.
Yeah.
And and what's funny is, like, you probably do it way more often than I do. Like, I unfortunately can only get to it maybe a couple times a month. Mm-hmm. And so, like, sometimes when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it for like 4 years. They're like, whoa. I was like, yeah, but
not
I'm not like every night.
I know. So that's
2 shows a night. Like,
I agree with you. Yeah,
pounding it in.
It's hard to scale it. Like, some people are, you're going to talk to people like, how long have you been doing it? And they're like, oh, I've been doing it 4 years. But that means I've been going to open mics all the time. I'm addicted to going to open mics, and I get it booked on Showcase. And I've been doing that for 3.5 years. Like, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I've been doing shows for a while, but actually pursuing it as hard as I could, like, since I moved here. It's just not possible if I didn't live in Denver.
Yeah.
And I lived in Boulder, which is just, Denver is where it is.
You say that as you're wearing a Broncos shirt. So.
Oh, yeah. Go Broncos, baby. Yeah.
I totally know what you mean, because, when I did live down here in Chicago and, like, trying to go to open mics, it's not that I wasn't as passionate about it, but, like, when you're in school or you're working a job and it's, like, going to an open mic, like, you have to make, like, the whole evening of it. Yeah. It's not like something that you can do for like an hour and then go back home. Like, you have to be there sometimes 2 hours or 3 before the mic.
Yeah.
Gotta sign up, and then you're waiting those 2-3 hours till the mic. Then you may not go until an hour in.
Believe me, I'm not a fan of open mics very much, but it's a necessary evil. Damn it.
It's like taxes.
Yeah.
Necessary evil.
And I like doing, it's I like them for the social aspect sometimes. You're usually going to see a good buddy and drink a beer or two, or smoke a doobie in the alley. Usually riff on stuff, so it can be fun. But it can be a long night some nights of sitting in the same stool.
I love asking this to, especially like I did this when I had Joel Boyd on the podcast. Can you remember your first, like, genuine, you were proud of bit? Like, you're like, all right, I'm not just some guy who's just standing up there talking. Like, this is something I'm proud of. I've kind of crafted it.
It was in college, opening for a New York comedian, Ben Haig, and he was at my school, and I had a bit about basically about like the way, how the hiring process of, like, the British Guards Buckingham Palace, and like how those dudes are like constantly quiet, and how that interview process went. And it was just a dude asking questions like, "What are your qualifications for this job?" And then the guard would just. No, this is not a good podcast joke, but he's just silent with the most British face on.
Yeah, that's the point. Is like usually in an interview you want to be talkative and likable.
Yeah,
but he's just stoic.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Oh, very impressive. Like you're hired, my man." And I don't know, like I've that was one of the, and then I did some Bush stuff right when he just like, he was still technically relevant, I guess. And then I've always had football jokes, so those were easy. But yeah, I was opening for him and just had a good time. Told a bunch of jokes and they went well. But yeah, that one comes first. One comes by. I still tell that joke sometimes. The British.
Yeah,
one. Definitely have some of those. I think that Don LaFontaine one that we were doing earlier is one of those. Which is I like that joke. I definitely have heard the Pablo Francisco, like he does that voice.
That's where I loved it as a kid.
I really try to like stay far away from whatever he's doing, and I've never gotten shit about like doing the same voice as a dude, but I always have it in the back of my head. I'm like, am I doing someone else's bit?
Because that's like the number one like no in stand-up. Stealing someone else's.
I would never steal, and like I have that bit so memorized so that I can stay far fucking away because I love that voice, but I try to put it in different settings and not make it just about him.
And if you really think about it, like he can't be the only one to do that voice.
I mean,
like it's it kind of, you can't like kind of like patent like a joke, like it's and I totally could tell, because that's where I started doing that voice as a kid. Was I saw Pablo Francisco, because he's like, that's his thing though, is like voices.
He's
like
great.
He'll do Arnold, then he'll do that, then he'll do Kermit the Frog. He'll do all this shit.
I do a lot of voices too. I love it.
And I wish I could do that. Like I can only do a couple, but none that I would want to just go for on stage.
Yeah.
And but like I could totally tell as a fan of his from when I was younger, and then you were doing yours. Like I could tell the difference.
Yeah.
So it's not like you saw him and then you straight up did his bit, because
like, I definitely try to stay away from like doing it about TV, because I feel like that's what Pablo Francisco's is about.
Yeah, definitely.
And he like talks about how this dude couldn't have other jobs, and then he just does a commercial.
Yeah, like, or he'll do like a full on movie trailer.
Yeah,
like
and that's what he mostly does. And mine's just about, I do like a pot PSA.
Yeah, in
that voice,
and you kind of did
talk about his kids.
Yeah, exactly. You talk about the actual narrator,
that dude's life. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I this actually happened to me earlier this summer. I was bringing back a bit that I had done a few years ago. Just felt like telling it again.
Yeah.
And it was basically like, I think Halloween is the Christmas for pedophiles. Like they dress up in these little outfits. They come straight to your door for the candy already.
Oh, jeez.
And the worst part was, like, I was at the Comedy Shrine in Aurora. I'm looking at my list. That's one of my, like, sort of closing bits.
Yeah.
And then the comedian, two people before me, does it almost like, he does it not exactly word for word, but like he does it in like a better way.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck.
I know. Yeah.
And like even when he got off stage, I showed him my notebook because it said like Christmas for pedophiles. Like he said this straight up the same thing.
Yeah.
And I talked to him after the show. I was like, yeah, man.
Parallel thought.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, well, he's like, don't worry, I wouldn't think that you stole it from me or anything. I was like, all right, well, good. I'm glad neither of us are getting on the other person, like, oh,
you peeked over my shoulder, man.
Yeah, like, because, like, especially, like, I don't do stand-up enough to where someone would much less steal my bet, or, like, an audience member or someone else besides me would know that it was mine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not nowhere near that level. But yeah, that's always an interesting thing at stand-up for me, is when you have this bit you've worked on for a while, and then someone else.
Like, it's the ultimate. I mean, it's got to be on your mind all the time to be, as just definitely try to be original. Make sure your stuff's not coming from anywhere else, but like random thoughts you have in your brain.
Yeah,
for
and
me.
That's why sometimes when I'm I'm sitting down and I'm like really feel like writing new material, I make sure that like I'm not watching stand up while I'm doing it, or I haven't watched it like the night before, and maybe something kind of.
I truthfully don't watch much stand up for that reason, because I'm scared of my brain subconsciously doing stuff. Like, I have my people that I really like to watch a lot, but like I don't think I'm very like, it's just because I like their style, and they hop their energy and stuff like that. Like Robin Williams, love him. Chris D'Elia, I think Chris D'Elia is fucking very funny. Brian Regan, Pete Holmes. I watch them because they're my heroes. Because that's who I want to be like.
Yeah.
So I don't want to steal any of their. I don't want to subconsciously say anything that's like them, because I want to be like them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I want to be in an original vein of their style of comedy, for sure. But yeah, it's the other stuff that, like the other comedians that I might necessarily like, but I don't want to spin their premises or anything like that. You know, it's just hard. Being original is the hardest part about comedy. But if something was close enough, or just like, you know, word for word exactly what I said, like the situation you were in, I would definitely probably just surrender it. You know?
Because I mean, you can't you can't latch onto a joke.
No, you got to kill your babies. Sometimes
I love that phrase.
Yeah, that's a good one for sketch writing, especially. You know, if you're writing a sketch and it's just not working, because, like, for example, I have a sketch show going up at I.O. Starting in October, and you know, we just did our first round of like kills. You know, we had like 70, 80 sketches that we had written. We're probably only going to have like 12 or 15 for like I think we're going to do a 1-act for the first 2 weeks, and then add some for the second 2 and do a 2-act. But not sure. That's just an idea. I am actually going to present at rehearsal this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. I can't even imagine, because I've never... One thing I've wanted to try at some point is writing sketches for the stage.
Yeah.
I've only written them for YouTube.
Yeah.
Where it's stuff that we can edit, and we can, you know, you can add humor with camera angles or music or whatever. And I just can't even imagine 70. Like, you guys, how many are you in that IO group?
There's 7 of us. Yeah, basically. We have a director too.
Okay.
So we meet every Sunday, and we meet for a couple hours and pitch, and then so everyone brings 2 pitches, so that's like 14 sketches for however long we've been doing it. So probably have more than 70. 70 might have been a low ball on it.
That's still insane. So if you had to pick, you write but also perform. Which do you prefer? If you could only do one,
performing.
Okay.
For sure.
So you would rather, you know, if some situation happened, like someone else does the writing but you do the performing, opposed to...
Yeah, that'd be my preferred, for sure.
See.
I'd love to be in I've never had a situation where I'm doing someone else's... Well, actually, no. I've done a couple sketches at the Storefront Theater that it was someone else's material, but it would be nice to have it be someone else's material on stage. And you'd be like, I didn't write this shit. Fuck it. Like,
that's what you should do. If the joke's bad, you're like, well, I didn't write it, folks.
But so far everything is bearing my soul on stage. You know?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I prefer writing myself. That's why I've never quite been like in many sketches or worked on many things live, because I don't know. I feel like I'd fuck up the lines, or I'd be waiting for my line and I'd just be looking weird. It's just like, what do I do? Where do I put my hands? Like,
I just love performing in front of people. Like, I haven't done much stuff in front of cameras, but like, if I had to choose between that, based on my experience now, I would definitely rather just be like a stand-up, like Brian Regan it, never do a movie.
Yeah, that's
just do stand up forever, because that shit. There's nothing like getting in front of people and just seeing them laugh at your dumb thoughts.
Yeah,
like, yes,
I know exactly what you mean, because sometimes I get in a funk where I'm just busy. I don't have a chance to go to an open mic, and then pretty soon all I know, all of a sudden I look and it's been like a month or two since I've actually been on stage. Mm-hmm. And then I start feeling like, oh, well, like, is my shit just not as good? Should I, because I want to do new stuff, but I don't want to, bomb. And then it's 5 minutes of new stuff that's not working. So I was like, you know what? I know the rookie thing is to do 5 minutes of new stuff, but I was like, fuck it. I'm going to the Comedy Shrine. They're usually pretty nice there. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to do 5 minutes. If it sucks, oh, well, I did the rookie mistake. But if not, then hey,
that's good.
And I tried something new. I went up and I sat down on the stool.
Yeah.
I never do that. I walk back and forth constantly. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm just going to fucking sit. And, I made a joke about it that I was like, oh, I'm tired. I had to walk all the way up here, all the way up this stage. I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted,
Yeah. I love sitting down for sure. Sometimes I did 2 shows in Boulder last time I was there. The Boulder comedy show is like now added a second later show. And in the second later show, it was a definite like tool. I almost said like use the stool because the stool was the tool. I am a tool. But yeah, I had to like sit down because the audience was just low energy, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get low with you guys. Like we're gonna chill. Like
I'm just gonna talk to you.
We'll just hang out. Like I won't try too hard. And
did you kind of flip them around then?
Yeah, it ended up. I feel like got them on my side towards the end because you just were like, sometimes I feel like you just have to. Not try to force it on them and just let them force it on you, and then you kind of like match their stuff, and then you work it together.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the energy is just not there, and if you're a high energy comedian, you just got to be like, okay, all right, we'll hang out. Or if they're easily offended, you got to be real nice to them or something like that. Yeah.
Which that's one thing I love dabbling in, and I've kind of steered away from it. I may do somewhat dark, but that's what I tried to do when I first got up there, was just try to be very dark. And I almost loved getting the groans. Like people would be like, "Ah," and then I'm like, "Ah, what?"
Yeah, I don't have a dark joke in my book. I don't think, not really that dark. I have one about adopting, which is probably my most. It's adopting through tryouts. Which is definitely not in good taste at all, and I don't like. I'm a freaking sissy when it comes to offending people, so I don't tell it that often.
Really?
Yeah,
I wouldn't get that from you.
Yeah, I mean, I like being. I'm crass with like my friends and stuff like that, but on stage, I really don't want to be offensive.
Okay.
I would like to be just funny.
Yeah.
I get offensive humor, and I like it. I love dirty humor.
No, but that's interesting that you like hearing it, but you don't like.
Yeah, I don't really replicate it that much. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. Sometimes I'm like, I just would rather not talk about my own dick up here, and I would rather talk about like the like panthers hunting llamas. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything revolutionary or new about the human penis, but
I think everyone's covered it.
I definitely would much rather just say something extremely dumb about nature or just like off thing that I thought of the other day. Yeah. But that's just me, Like,
no, I mean that's totally a style.
What I'm working towards.
You're going for a more general audience that can reach a wider. When I go for like the dark humor, like it's gonna be pretty split. It's gonna be either offended or hilarious.
Yeah,
like it's hardly a middle ground.
But it's worked. I mean, there's been some dark humorists that are huge. Like freaking
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. for one. Hicks. Like, I mean, there's just so Carlin was pretty dark sometimes. Richard Pryor. I mean, they delved into the. To the dark arts for sure. I might it someday, but for now.
So, because you're both the producer and then you also host the Chill as Fuck show, and I mean you've hosted other shows as well.
Yeah.
Is there sort of maybe a different style you go for because you're hosting, or do you just treat it like another 5 minutes, or how long you have?
I definitely try to treat it differently. You got to talk to the audience as a host. And your objective is different. I think when I'm doing like a 5-minute guest spot, I want to just like fucking go out there and kill. But if you're doing a host spot, which is usually about 5 minutes up top, you want to talk to the audience and just like, make them comfortable. And really, I feel like your job is to make the next guy have a killer time and just kind of, you want to loosen them up.
Tone.
Yeah, so I usually will like do a little crowd work, and then you have like a little like wheelhouse of a joke or two that could maybe be brought up through a regular interaction, like where you're from or something like that. Like, oh, you're from there? I'm from Colorado. Here's blah, 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 or something like that. Like, you can make it seem natural. But I definitely will tell a joke that's pre-written up top, but you want to try to seem like it's natural and just massage the audience a little bit. And also, it's good to, I feel like sometimes some self-deprecating up top, because you want the host to be like goofy fun guy, not like a guy who's like, I'm the mean fucking host, you guys behave yourself. It's like, you want to be like, yeah, look at me, this is fucking fun, right, guys? Like, fucking cheer.
I know the host that will come up and, standard thing in comedy is you want more of the crowd together and towards the stage. Mm-hmm. You don't want them spread out, because like it just laugh is infectious. Yeah. So like that's why like when I worked at the comedy bar, we would try to sit people close together and towards the stage. Yeah. And I know hosts that would be like, all right guys, come on, move on up. Yeah. Move on up. I'm not gonna get the show started, so you move up. And I was sitting there, I was like, fuck you, I want to sit here. Yeah. As an audience member, like I understand as a performer, and
you want them close for sure, but just let them be. I would never tell someone or order people around right off the top. Just again though, because I'm a sissy. But
you're just a big old teddy bear. You don't want to offend anyone.
Man, well, yeah, I don't. I would. Yeah, just want to be nice, man. Want to be dumb and nice. That's. I love the word dumb these days. I've been saying it a lot.
So I gotta ask though. You've been doing the Chill as Fuck show for a little while. You've done some other hosting things. Yeah. Any stories or situations, maybe a heckler, something that just like it stuck out as like, oh man, that was rough, or maybe you were doing crowd work and it just wasn't working, anything like that you can always comes to mind?
Well, you'll get the occasional just person that'll just stare at you and not say anything when you ask him a question. The roughest crowd work experience I've had, I haven't had any recently, to tell you the truth. Last night I had someone, I did this show called Camp, and this woman was just like not laughing but nodding very fervently at my joke.
She's just like, I understand the humor.
I was talking about how David Attenborough should commentate on sports, and she was just like, yep, I've been saying this for years. Like, she was nodding like, yes, that. Hurrah! Like she was about to do a war cry or something. So I said that to her. I mean, that was the last time I talked to an audience member. But last good story was there was just the Sunday show. I've talked about the Boulder Comedy Show twice now, but this is like the worst Heckler story. She was just this drunk girl dressed in a Broncos cheerleader. It was a Sunday show, so it was right after the Broncos game, and she was just talking the whole time. And I was doing.
She didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, she was the worst, and I was doing the Don LaFontaine-ish bit, the movie announcer, the ESPN intro outro guy, and she was like telling me, she was like, I tried to ignore her for like twice, but she basically was like, "Say go Broncos" or something like in that voice, and like. Oh, she was the worst. And then after, all I said to her was just like, shut the fuck up. And that's all I said to her, and we got a good laugh. But then afterwards, the headliner went, and his name's Sam Talent, and he's like a Denver staple. Now he's a Las Vegas guy. Not really a Las Vegas guy, but he lives in Las Vegas. But like when you mention Denver comedy, usually people are like, oh, Sam Talent. But he went up there and just spent 20 minutes talking to this girl and destroyed. You can YouTube that. Sam Talent destroys Heckler, all those destroys Heckler thing. But it's got a bunch of views, and it's fucking hilarious. That was.
Yeah,
Have you had that?
I've been pretty lucky that if anyone, I wouldn't call them hecklers. Like there may be someone that'll shout something out. Yeah. But it's usually not rude. Like the latest one that happened was at the Comedy Shrine. I was doing a bit about dildo factories. Yeah. The fact that there are factories dedicated solely to making dildos, and like just the thought of like like there's probably women that work there, like an old Mexican lady that's just like, oh, I shaped the shaft, like just talking about how ridiculous that is to me. And I brought up how, like, these are the things I think of because I work at a bank, and I can't, I talk about that here because I can't talk about that to people at the bank. And a guy just goes, "Why not?" And I was like, "Why not? How about you go to your bank and talk to your teller about dildo factories and see how that goes quickly before the cops get called."
You just jogged my memory. Sorry, keep going.
Going. Yeah, no, that was it. It was just like, it was kind of like, why not?
Yeah.
And it was just like, really? Like, I was up here for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And now you decide to just pipe in like right at the end.
I was up at Zany's Rosemont, and the first and only time I've been there, and did a joke about weed. And like a group in the front just goes like, "We're caps. We're all caps." Just like told us he's a police officer. While I'm doing my pot joke, I'm like, "What does that fucking mean?
Am I arrested?
Does that mean I can't tell this joke? Like,
do you have a warrant to stop this joke?"
All right, I'm sorry, officer. I'll go, I guess.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jump to our other segment, I Hate People.
Oh.
Chance to just vent on whoever the fuck you want. Basically, mine is a little more abstract. It's a little more other... it's not exactly a particular person, but over the past year or so when I've been working at my shitty-ass bank, talk about it plenty on the podcast, can't stand it there, so I've been looking for some other jobs.
Yeah.
And, naturally I look at stuff online to apply for, and I get called in for the interview. And one of my biggest pet peeves is they don't post how much the job will pay online. They wait till you come in, you sit down, you go through like, hour, however long the interview is, and then at the very end, we're looking to pay about X amount. And then as soon as you hear the number, because anytime you're looking for a job, you know a number in your head what you need to budget out everything. And I didn't say this, but in my head I was like, nope, just wasted the last hour and a half of my life.
Yeah, damn.
And like I feel like that should just be some sort of law. Like if you're posting a job online, you gotta say
the pay should be there for sure.
Or give me a range.
Yeah.
It's 10 to 15 an hour. It's 12 or 13. Give me a range. That way I'm not going in blind.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, when you're working another job, trying to apply for another job, I gotta schedule for to do that interview on my day off.
Yeah.
I gotta put the suit on, gotta print the resumes, drive wherever the fuck it is. And they just
mentally prepare.
Exactly. Because you got to come up with all the bullshit answers. Why do you want to work here? Well, I believe in this company. I like the message you're trying to send.
I really researched you for 10 minutes last time. And let me tell you, I'm going to repeat some stuff from your website.
That was the one time they asked, like, what'd you think of our website? And I was just like, yeah, it's very easy to use. I didn't look at it.
It's cool. Nice graphics. You guys got graphics, right?
I was glad that, it wasn't complicated.
Yeah.
Seemed like you had everything it needed to be there.
Color scheme was nice. It was French cooking.
So yeah, I just can't stand they don't put that thought into the potential hires. Like we need to know how much we're going to possibly get paid before we put X amount of time into coming for this interview. Yeah. So that's my I Hate People. Chris, you got yourself someone you would like to bitch about?
Mine's just a general group of people as well, my friend. It's people that don't look before they pull out of their parking space, or just don't see bikers, because I bike all the time.
You're one of them bikers.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, the amount of times I've had to swerve around idiots that just are just pulling out of their parking space.
I'm going.
Or just coming slowly out of a driveway or a parking lot or something, and they're just like, oh, sorry, and oh man, just look, or be slower, or just bike,
Just all bike.
If you live in the city, get a bike.
Yeah. I'll admit, when I lived here, I didn't bike as much as I probably should have for exercise reasons. But I made sure that when I was a biker, I wasn't one of those asshole bikers. Because there are some out there.
I'm an asshole biker for sure.
Really?
Well, I'm not like a prick swerving in front of cars, but I will yell at you.
Oh, no, I don't. Yeah. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
But I mean, the people who will go in front of a red light traffic, totally, mess up everyone else. Yeah. Because I've been in the car what the fuck?
Yeah.
But
those guys are on fixies and they're like, I can't stop now.
The brake doesn't work.
I'm sorry, there are no brakes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I couldn't. When I did bike, I couldn't stand that either. People that couldn't bother to just give a little look-see.
Give a little look-see. Or if you're gonna open your car door.
Oh yeah,
it's my nightmare.
Yeah, you gotta do the slow creak and peek, as I call it.
Yeah,
you creak the door open. You take a peek.
Use your rear view mirror.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. Yeah, the creak and peek's real good. Because if you creak and peek, you're gonna get yelled at if a bike's
patent that creak and peek.
Do it. Get on it. Watch out though, the copyright.
Yeah. Shark Tank. I don't know why you would need to go on Shark Tank.
The damn copyright office servers are down. I was trying to get on there earlier.
Yeah, trying to patent a Seinfeldian phrase.
Oh yeah.
That's my dream.
Are you gonna kill me? I'll creak and peek.
Yeah. I'll admit I do have one other that's like that. I wish I could be on Seinfeld and just pitch that to Larry David and see if they use it a no-go photo.
No-go photo.
It's when someone looks really good in person, but they're in a photo, they're a no-go.
Yeah.
So this is definitely been fun, Chris.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
I'll be honest. One of the things I love about doing this podcast is it's just a reason to just sit down and chat with someone about comedy or entertainment, whatever. Just shoot the shit.
Shoot the shit.
Yeah. So feel free. What would you like to plug? You got Chills Fuck Show.
Oh, yeah.
You said you have a show in IO coming.
Chills. Yeah, sure. The Chills Fuck Show every Saturday at 10:30 until the end of October, and then starting on October 6th. We have a show called, so far it's called Sweet Hot Jazz, but we will probably be renaming it in the time being. But the time slot is the same. Just find yourself at I.O. Chicago at 10:30 p.m. every Thursday in October.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got a Twitter they could follow, maybe get updates and whatnot?
Oh, yeah. What is my Twitter name? I can't really remember it. I never...
Got to get yourself a website, man.
Yeah, I don't have a website.
Post all these shows. You're a busy guy.
Yeah, I do it all on Facebook. Let's see here. What am I on Twitter? I am at 3IGGIN5. It looks like my nickname in college, Biggins, but saying that out loud is just going to be impossible for anyone. They're going to have to press the back 15.
The back 15 4 or 5
seconds
times.
Yeah.
What is he on Twitter? It's not worth
God damn it. It's not worth it. I hate this guy. He's been so awful.
But please, everyone, check out those shows. Chris is a very funny guy. I mean, if you don't believe me, check out even just on our YouTube channel the 5 minutes he did for our Entertainment Buffet live show. Yeah. Definitely, Chris, if we do another live show, you're going to be one of the first ones we call.
Oh, thanks, man.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
And good luck with the rest of the Chills Fuck Show wrapping up and this new show at I.O.
Thank you, dude. If you ever want to come out, I got a comp ticket with you and your wife's name.
Oh, me and my wife's name?
Yeah,
right.
Wives. I said wives. You and your wife's name.
Don't tell me about the other one.
Oh, shit. We can edit this part out.
Yeah. I'll do the old Flintstones thing where, I'll sit on one side of the room with one wife and one with the other, and I'll run back and forth.
Skedaddle back and forth.
I don't think my wife actually listens to this, so luckily she won't be like, that wasn't very funny.
Well, she can come to the show.
So she can come to the show. It's on Chris. But yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
All right, man. Well, yeah, check out his shows. As always, please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. You can listen to other podcasts with comedians such as Chris, such as Joel Boyd. Definitely have to have you on the podcast again.
Thanks,
maybe get a few of you guys together and just shoot the shit.
Yeah, buddy.
And talk all about comedy. I can talk about it for hours and not get sick of it at all.
Me neither.
But, so... Also, check out our YouTube channel. We got new content coming your way, guys, including sketches, web shows, other podcasts, whatnot. Entertainmentbuffet.com, kind of a little hub where you can find everything as well. But, anything else you'd like to shout out to, Chris? Or
keep Boulder fucking weird.
Keep Boulder fucking weird.
Don't turn it into Los Angeles. I don't want that hotel going up on the hill. All right. Good.
You got your little PSA out.
Yeah. Fuck you if you want to move to Boulder, Colorado. Stay out.
I'll send not just this clip, but this whole podcast to them. Be like, hey, Chris Higgins. And they're like, where the fuck is the thing he says? And it's the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, my PSA is if you have a really large trust fund and you want to move to Colorado because weed is legal, don't. There it is.
There it is. All right, Chris. Thanks for coming on again, man.
Thanks for having me,
We'll talk
dude.
to you later soon.